Welcome back, punters, to the Rapid Fire Show. Jason has a party back in the hot seat after a short stint away, and John Walter from racingwatch.com.au. G'day, boys.
G'day, boys.
Mate, Paul wanted me to change the intro to Paul, John and Peter Lawrence, so I kicked up for you, mate. I left it there for you. You only left us for a week. You're back. We haven't abandoned you.
Thanks, mate. Just great to see a smile on your face as always, buddy. It's great to see. And caught your banter with Dale Monteith yesterday on POC. That was interesting. You're PVL's apprentice, I nearly call you. You're pulling strings in the background still.
Mate, I had a random call from a random person from sort of in between land yesterday that went for an hour and a half. So I must have upset a few people by the looks of it. But no, all healthy stuff, I think, hopefully. I think it's sort of things that people need to be more aware of, right? That are betting a lot and don't understand the impact it has. So hopefully it all works itself out sooner rather than later.
It was interesting and informative banter.
Yeah. And I think there's more to come. I think it'd be interesting to see what things, especially Betfair. I think it's the big, how they handle these new taxes and what becomes of Betfair is going to be the big change in the landscape potentially. They can't cop much more, can they?
Well, they can't, but like from a personal viewpoint, if there was no Betfair, I'd hardly bet.
And you're not alone.
Like I genuinely wouldn't.
So. And like it's even hard at this point. Like what's New South Wales? I think a base rate 10% plus there's premium charges, all sorts of things potentially. That's got to be close to the line anyway for people who want to bet there. So anyway.
Yes, we can keep talking about that forever, can't we? Okay, so tomorrow, punters, we're going to, or should I say today, we're going to preview the Tats Tiara on the Saturday, which is race 8 from Eagle Farm, and the Healy Stakes, or WJ Healy Stakes, which is race 9 to Group 3, just to pad out the show a little bit. It does look like an interesting race with the resumption of King of Sparta. So we've got an 8-metre rail, boys, and good track, and weather fine up here. It's been beautiful the last week or two. So it most likely will be a good track for sure. Well, at least not worse than what they've got it currently, which is a dead 4, or should they call it a good 4. So we'll start off with the market, John, for the Tats Tiara. What have we got here?
Let me just a big field, so I definitely want to sort it. Anavisto favourite $5, Snap Dancer $6.50, Kiku $9.50, Away Game 10, Shout the Bar 10, Startontes 11, 12 Brooklyn Hustle, 14 Nudge, 15 Wonder Bar, 16 a Tissue. That same horse that I got wrong last time that pissed in at 30s, Palacipan 30s, Charmy Baby $34, Paul's Pin-Up Horse, Salatine 34, Vangelic 34, Written Beauty 34, 41 plus. The rest is a big field, big tail.
Well, I might start off here. I see this race as all hinging around Anavisto first up. Look, I think that for me, it represents outstanding value. Unusual jockey choice in Rachel King, I suppose, but there'll be detractors from her. But I do think she rides well when she goes into an on-pace position, and I see her up running a second here potentially. And probably Snap Dancer being the likely leader. So for me, it's all about Anavisto. Once we get away from Anavisto, I think this race has got a pretty long tail. I think Snap Dancer's under the odds. It's obviously a winning chance, but definitely 5-1 for me, way too short. I think Anavisto should be substantially shorter. And then we get to the other minority chances like Nudge, Tissue, Kiku and the like. But for me, it's all about her, Jason.
Yeah, it's a bit of a process of elimination here in terms of there are a lot that I feel I can pen. My go-to horse is Anavisto because I think it's going to get the perfect map. I envisage Vangelic going the lead. Snap Dancer from the outside is definitely going to be positive. And I can see Anavisto just letting them sort of come across and getting one by one here. I've been a fan of this horse her entire career. I think in the spring she was fantastic when she dominated Flemington, and then I don't think she lost any admirers in that Group 1 on a heavy 10 in that Queen of the Turf. This looks an absolute clear target to try and get the Group 1. So expecting Dry's good, Go Forward's good. Don't love Rachel on, but it is what it is. She's also riding against Ethan Brown here, so you can see there may have not been that much choice. So she's my top pick. I think if you do like her at $5, I think she's a tremendous each way bet. I think you'd be very stiff to miss, and I think you should have a real red-hot crack. In terms of dangers, I thought a tissue was the main danger. Look, a bit of a myth, but if you do look through the form since coming from New Zealand, her best starts have been at 1400. She won first up in Australia pretty impressively and sort of put the writing on the wall there, and that was on a good track. And then 2 starts later won the Bill Ritchie, beating looks like Elvis and Arameo. So since those 2 races, this will be her first time back to 1400. I don't mind the setup here, 1600 back to 14. She's going to be red hot, very fit. Waller, but then you got to cop Jay Ford. So, I just think I won't be losing on her, and I've just got to at the price. Star Tontes, she doesn't do herself any favour. She just keeps getting back. It's nearly impossible to win. But if you look at that that Stratty run, she's 4 lengths, just under 4 lengths off some pretty good horses. Yeah, she had no weight. If she can just be a little bit more positive here from the gate with Collett on, I'm expecting them to come down the middle and at least in this race. So I think they're going to fan. She can just be a bit closer within them. I think she's got the ability and the sprint to win. So my primary will be Ana Visto. I won't be losing on the other 2. And just the other one is that PD mentioned was Nudge. She's 3rd up into this race. She ran 2nd at Tofane last year off the same setup. But geez, it's Nash. You get Nash good, but you got the barrier. She's going to be way back, and her strike rate's pretty poor. But one to watch if you do like her. It seems like a clear target by Waller as well.
John,
agree. Go head to head with you guys as well. I'm not a big Ethan Brand man. Sorry, my back's cactus. But it's a pretty one-trick pony, this horse. Head forward. Hopefully doesn't have to work too hard. Snap dance from the outside. I just love this horse. If she bluffs him out of the front, she can sprint. I think she can sprint better than what's it called? The horse you guys like? Ana Visto, potentially. And I'm happy to be with her. And I found Nudge in a tissue as well, especially Nudge. I think Nash is the big difference. Jay Ford's just so hard to find. If Nash was on a tissue, I'd switch them around. Simple as that. Nudge did run 2nd this race last year with Larry Cassidy, and I just love the mile back to 1400 here if they run along. And if you can run on, I think both of Waller's horses will be flooding home. And if Snap Dancer bluffs them and can control it, I think it's going to give an almighty sight. And I agree, your horse is going to get the same run too. But I just went the other way. But I thought they were the 3 main chances in not a very deep race. I didn't find too many other horses that I probably were keen to get involved with.
Can Wonderbar win, PD?
Oh, look, I mean, I doubt it.
So you've got it priced longer than the market, that $17, have you?
Yeah. Like, it's not hopeless, but I mean, it is a price. So with Star Tuntes, Jason, what price do we have with Top Sports for that, John?
$11.
10 to 1. They'll be betting top odds too, I'd imagine, because I'd say Tabcorp would be shorter than that.
Sounds like you've got a 50s by the tone of your voice.
I think you may have a 0 on the end of the 50s.
Sounds like you and I might have to have a bit of a sidebar there, Jason.
950 with the tap.
Sometimes you need to back a horse for your own sanity. And when you've been backing a horse a few times in a row, if I'm going to have a crack at Ana Visto, and if Star Tontes flies home and does it on the inside by a nose, so I call it a sanity bet.
I hope I don't have egg on my face, but $11, you should be backing it with me, Jason.
Okay, well, you put up a price and I'll knock it off.
No, we'll just come to an agreement sidebar, I think. Anyway, not that we're doing any SP business here.
Of course not.
Gentlemen's handshake agreements.
Gentleman's handshake for
a Mars bar.
for something. Okay, so with Anavisto, yeah, I do concede the each way does look appealing, doesn't it? You know, when you look at it on face value with the map and everything else, and it'll be a really good result for me. Oh, that's all.
Yeah,
I can say.
that's the bet. Anavisto each way, and you know, if something else, if you want to have a sanity bet, great. But a lot of these are get back gunners like Brookline Hustle. I keep backing it. It's $11. Like,
well, it was a good run sectionally the other day, and it often does that. But
it's always a good run. Just doesn't win.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It's a bit of a gunner, but anyway, we'll get on to the Healy Stakes now. John, what's the market? We should talk about Top Sport, though, shouldn't we? Even though we're putting Top Sport prices up.
We've only got 2 races to talk about. You want me? I'll put up the slide that means nothing from the Sydney Autumn Carnival.
But I suppose the point here, John, is if you don't have an account, punters, you should have. Make sure you get in contact with Tristan and get yourself signed up, because you will be able to back the limits from the time they go up, not necessarily from MBL. I know that Victoria and Queensland are already in line, but still some of the other states apply. And in the bigger races, you'll get a fair bet too. So make sure you've got your Top Sport account as one of the tools in the arsenal. Okay, so let's get on to the Healy Stakes market. John, run us through these.
King of Sparta, 2-1, $3 favourite, 650 Baller, 950 Alpine Edge, 950 Shooting for Gold, Garibaldi 10, Rangers 11, 15 Blondo, 15 One Diva, $21, April Rain, Prime Candidates, Simply Fly, $26, Mass Destruction, $71, the bottom 2.
Jason, you got the honorary lead here, so what do you say?
Found it a very difficult race. Intrigued why King of Sparta is running here. First up in a prep when there's nothing else post this race. I'm going on the assumption that it's too long between now and the spring, and they want to have a couple of trial campaign and a run, and then bring it back in the spring, because I couldn't see what else would be around, but I could be wrong. I haven't looked at the program. Drawn well, gets gets probably a few of the favours here. Can probably see why it's favoured, but it's too short for me in a race like this. I'm pretty keen to back Shooting for Gold here, and I have already backed it. It's drawn horrendously, so you're putting it in the 1,200 metre start. It's a short run to a sort of long bend. So I actually think he can be a lot more positive on it. He's got a bad habit of missing the start, this horse. But I think if it doesn't, I think there's the ability to sort of be settling midfield. I've always had a lot of time for this horse. I think it's got a lot of ability. Dry track. If you look at its dry track form, it's 13 starts, 6 wins, 3 seconds and a third. So where it hasn't excelled. Track and distance, it's tick. And I really like the run first up, bomb the start. Flew home behind Baller, Wonderbar and Kamantari. I'm favouring that form over the Rangers race, although they did run good figures in that Rangers race. I just want to go for that Group 2 form here. So I think Shooting for Gold's a great each way bet at $11. I think Blondo, 2 starts back, was enormous in that Alligator Blood race. And that's why I penned Alligator Blood in the Stratty, because Blondo ran 5th in a race. I actually thought he nearly could have won. Admittedly, he was getting weight off the top horses in that race. But then last start was a bit of a weird run. They sort of felt like a bit of a barrier trial, but then that's in the Rangers race. I just thought if they can settle midfield here, if he can hold it up long enough for a final sprint, I thought at big odds, I could have a little spec on him. I went looking for Alpine Edge as well, but just couldn't find a strong enough reason to back it, but might chop out on it. So that's the way I'm going to approach the race. Main bet, Shooting for Gold each way.
John.
I'm in the corner there, but I'm bracketing it, and wow, Shooting for Gold from the outside draws. I think they both need a bit of luck, sort of like Jason said. It depends how he jumps, and I just want the backup of Garibaldi, and strong feeling that one will end up on the back of each other probably from out there, and I think they're both going to run very well. King of Sparta for me is just too short. Not one of my sorts of horses. He's not that reliable from the gates either. Even though he's drawn soft here, I feel it's a race that could get ugly around the turn, and sort of 3 and 4 wide lines might be the place to be. And I think that's where one of the two of preferably Shooting for Gold or Garibaldi. I think Shooting for Gold's definitely got a better setup to run a strong 1200 than Garibaldi does. So I would mark it slightly shorter for sure. I did try to find Blondo. I think the horse is flying. Is it just a really good fresh horse that goes off a little bit? That's my only worry. Or did they give it a quiet one last start? Sort of sided with the two I went for instead of it, but I certainly can't knock it at the price. It's a very dangerous horse, and it's strong 1400 meter 4 minutes background, so it can definitely be strong at the end of this race. But not a great race. I just feel if things go to plan, these horses can be flooding home down the outside.
Yeah, look, it does appear to be a genuine tempo, doesn't it, with prime candidate Grey Worm and even to a lesser extent Dr. Zeus there in the race. So they should at least give the backmarkers their chance, providing that the track is enabling horses to run on in that 8 metre position. So we'll wait and see and keep an eye on that. Look, for me, King of Sparta's deserved favourite. I couldn't possibly have it 2-1. I think it deserves to be longer than that, but not necessarily a hell of a lot longer. I mean, around that 5 for 2, 11 to 4 mark is probably the bottom end of the fair price range for mine. I do agree with you, Jason, that Shooting for Gold is definitely the value bet in the race as we look at it right now with the prices on offer. But the worry for me is the gate. Like, just what do they do from that gate in terms of tactics? It was a good run behind Baller the other day. It meets it, I think, about 3 kilos or so better. So yeah, I just don't see that there should be as much of a difference between them. I mean, Shooting for Gold, I think, did have the SP edge over the other one the other day, didn't it? Didn't it start shorter than it, Baller?
It did, yeah.
Yeah. But the map is a worry. But look, win and place for it, sure. But it's the value chance. Alpine Edge, Baller ranges, Simply Fly, Blondo, even Garibaldi, they're all sort of horses that could feature and could win the race. But at around that sort of that 9-10 to 1 mark, Shooting for Gold does look the pick each way. And I can't see anything wrong with that bet at this point in time. If King of Sparta drifts, then even if it got out to around that 3-1 mark and it was to go on the blow, I'd be a little bit worried first up. And may not even chop out on it. So just not sure what I'll do with it yet. But
did get someone just write a comment, which was interesting. And first time I've ever checked the comments. I don't know if we've had any before. I would think that the Ramornie will be King of Sparta's goal this prep, which is probably a good level and an interesting, comment.
Right. Okay. That's that Grafton carnival, yeah.
They don't mind sending one up there, the Snowdens.
Right. Okay. They won with the horse that just got retired. White colours.
Yeah. Oh, I ran against it in a maiden one day. Oh, yeah.
Tracker, who is it? So it's on the 6th of July. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Even more. Signore Fox. That's who they won it with.
Signore Fox.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then even a better reason that it may be peaking next start rather than this. Are we live?
Yep.
Yeah, we're live. Yep.
On where?
YouTube.
I would have done my hair if I knew that.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we all agree there. So, well, at least you and I, Jason, I think that with Anavisto and Shooting for Gold, they look the bets at this stage.
Not far away.
Definitely against Star Tontes at price. And John, you're just recapping your Tats Tiara chip. I just give it to us again.
Snap Dancer, I think, is the one to catch. I'm against you there, but I found the same nudge in a tissue as Jason, and I thought Shooting for Gold definitely the one to beat in the last. Garibaldi's the one I'm most scared of. Yeah,
fair call. Okay, punters, hopefully you get some gold out of that, and we can be on the right side of the ledger. And we'll be back on Monday, John, to review the weekend's racing. I'm not sure which meeting we're going to review, whether it be the Eagle Farm meeting or
Did we get Peter for next week, or we got to?
Well, what have we got? Have we got a hiatus now? Have we got?
we might be going into a bit of a hiatus with the rapid fire. I'm just
Probably having a spell. It's a bit of a freshener.
Well, the intention was that we were only going to cover the Group 1s and 2s on the East Coast, so we might revise that. But at this stage,
it's good fun. I like being wrong every week.
It's good fun.
I think followers. To be fair, I think followers of this segment have done pretty well. Well, they should have done well. We've tipped a lot of winners, but anyway, onwards to Monday. And John, I'm not sure if we're going to review Randwick or the Eagle Farm meet. It may well be the Eagle Farm meet, but we'll wait and see.
Give me at least 45 minutes notice, and we'll be okay. We'll be okay. Good luck on the weekend.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.